Welcome back to the Perfect Season podcast. It's one of your hosts, Antonio. Now it's just me and one of our special guests, Clemson.Fans. We'll be Alex and Frankie and Leon hopefully will be back Wednesday for the NFL overview and our prediction episode. But now we're just covering college football from this past week. A lot has happened. A lot has changed in the top 25. But first, we're going to give a little introduction to Clemson fans. Now take it away.
Yeah, so a lot of people know me as Clemson.Fans, and it's totally fine. You can call me whatever, but my name's JT Leary. I live in Clemson, South Carolina right now, and plan on going to Clemson next year as a sophomore transfer. So I'm excited, man. I've been running Clemson.Fans TikTok for about a year and a half now, and I've been running the Instagram for about 4 years. So it's been a journey, and we're just getting started, baby. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and now if I met you at the Clemson game this past week
Yeah.
against Syracuse. Now, that game was filled with emotion. I was like having a panic attack. I was like, I thought they were going to lose. Everyone wanted them to lose, but no. Everyone said the refs gave it away or whatnot, but they made some good calls. They missed a lot of calls in the first half, but it was a good game. Had a great bye week. Sat back, watched a lot of good football. Kansas State was my team of the week,
Ooh.
beating Oklahoma State 48 nothing.
Yep.
But now let's get into the top 25. Do you want to start bottom, the top, or top to bottom?
Man, you know what? I was actually late on the Zoom call because I'm literally sitting here right now with a paper
Pen
and
and paper?
pencil working on it right now. I'm trying to make my top 25. So I've only really got, I mean, we can start wherever you want. I haven't quite done the full thing yet, but
I got
I
the
have
whole list, but
I'm pretty firm in my top five if we want to start there. You want to do
all right,
that?
we could start with the top five because it's the same teams. You got Georgia number one. Georgia's
Right.
gonna lose this week. Point blank, said and done. I got
Okay.
Tennessee beating them.
All right.
Tennessee is just unstoppable.
Right.
And then you got Ohio State at two, which I've heard some this and that saying Ohio State, are they a top four team?
Yeah. I,
Pains me to say they're a top four team, but they've only beat Penn State.
right. No,
And Penn
I
State
definitely think they're top four. I mean, there's no. I could see a little bit where they barely beat Penn State,
yeah,
which on paper doesn't look like that, but they also
no.
haven't played anybody,
Yeah,
right?
they
So,
haven't played anyone, just like
right,
Michigan.
right, yeah,
Now you got number three, a surprise team for all of us. Tennessee. Tennessee's
yeah,
make if Clemson doesn't make top four, I'm rooting for Tennessee all the way.
okay,
And then you got four, like I said, Michigan. Number five, our school, Clemson. And then you got six, which is Bama,
okay,
falling to 7-1.
yeah,
And you got TCU at seven, who was another surprise team.
right,
Who would have thought TCU would be in the top 10?
nah, yeah,
And then you got Oregon at number eight at 7-1. That
okay,
one lost to Georgia. Georgia was
yep,
terrible. That was a terrible game. Turned it
yep,
around. And then you got a nine. You got Southern California, the one USC we actually do like, which we got them at 7-1. And then you
right,
got UCLA at 10, another 7-1 team. Now that's a little surprising. Both California teams up in the top 10.
yeah,
And then you got Ole Miss at number 11 at 8-1, which Ole Miss, it's a roller coaster of a season for them. Just losing to LSU and then bounce back win shapes up for a great rest of the year.
yep,
Then you got Utah at number 12 at 6-2.
okay,
Then K-State at 13, my surprise team from the past week,
okay,
6-2. 14, you got Illinois. Illinois is another team. Who would have thought? 7-1. Then you got LSU at 15 at 6-2. Penn State at 16 at 6-2. North Carolina at 17 at 7-1. Now there's been rumors saying Clemson, North Carolina ACC championship. That would make for a good game.
I actually predicted that to happen preseason. I got hate for it because everybody was like, no, like Miami's
Yeah.
gonna win it,
Miami's
Pittsburgh.
terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They hype up
Miami's
Miami up
point blank
for
terrible. Now
yeah.
Alex and Leon, they're both FSU fans, and I have
Okay.
FSU by 50 in that game.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean they're playing Miami this week.
Yeah.
And then you got Oklahoma State, who just suffered a terrible loss. So
Right.
at number 18 at 6-2. I don't know if you follow the AAC at all, but you
Is that
got
American Athletic?
yeah,
Yeah.
USF, UCF, all
Okay.
those teams. You got Tulane at 19.
I was hoping you'd mention Tulane. I think they're rolling.
Tulane's a good team. But they might be a Cinderella team like Cincinnati last year.
Man, they beat Kansas State this year, which
They
I didn't
did.
realize, which is
That was one of
crazy.
Kansas State's loss.
Yeah,
And then you got Wake Forest at 20. Watching that Wake Forest Clemson game was a great game.
it was.
Definitely having a little heart attack.
Yep.
And then you got NC State at 21. I've been hearing all week saying NC State shouldn't be in the top 25.
Okay.
They shouldn't be in the top 25, but they should. It, if they lose this week, they're out.
Yeah.
And then you got Syracuse at 22 at 6-2. Syracuse is a great school. They got a
Hmm.
bright future ahead of them. And then you got Liberty, who was in the top 25 last year at 23, 7-1. Then you got Oregon State 6-2 at 24. And then UCF at 25 at 6-2.
Okay.
UCF took South Carolina's spot, thankfully. South Carolina is terrible, but that's the top 25 for this past week. And going into this week, like we've said, you got Tennessee and Georgia at a game day in Georgia.
Yep.
Should be a high scoring game. No one's stopping Tennessee though.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Tennessee's scary good.
Yeah.
But and then you got going into the game, a good game, Clemson at Notre Dame. Last Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time Clemson played Notre Dame, they lost in Notre Dame, or did we win?
Last time Clemson traveled and played in South Bend, we lost in double
Because that
overtime.
was the game DJ started over
Right.
Trevor because Trevor had COVID.
Right. Yeah. And it
But
was really weird, man, because Trevor still traveled and he was on the sidelines. He just wasn't
yeah,
quite eligible to play. So it seems a little bit odd that that was the case, but that's
yeah.
just what it is. And DJ, he played good. It's just
DJ's
our defense tended to like be a little bit sloppy. So
yeah,
you can only rely on so much from a freshman at the time.
yeah. But Clemson this year, I remember a lot of people were saying Clemson's not this, they're not making the playoff, they're not going to be in the top 25.
Yeah.
Now they're 8-0 at number 5. And I went to the FSU game in Tallahassee. I
Mhm.
got so much hate on me because everyone was like, Clemson's gonna lose by 40, by this, by that, whatever. But
Yeah.
then they had them at half. They were up like 2 touchdowns, and then we just won. We
Yeah.
point blank won. A little scary at the end. It is what it is. Clemson knows how to win games, but they also know how to give fans a heart attack.
Oh yeah.
I know you've probably been going to a lot more Clemson games than I have.
I've been going to the home games. I hadn't
Yeah,
traveled one yet. So
traveling, it's harsh, I'll tell you.
yeah.
It is very harsh traveling because going to FSU, their fans are ruthless,
Yeah.
point blank ruthless. But I'll root for FSU when they don't play Clemson
Really? Okay.
because I don't like Florida.
Hmm.
A lot of they always lose to USF or
Right.
they always beat USF. USF's terrible.
Yeah.
That's my hometown team.
Okay. Shoot.
But yeah, Clemson, I have them making the playoffs this year. If they beat
Okay.
Notre Dame, they win out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Notre Dame's been one of those teams where it's a roller coaster, up and down, up and down.
Uh-huh.
You never know which team you're gonna get.
Kind of
But
wondering which Notre Dame team's going to come out to play us. It would be the one that played Marshall, or will it be the one that played Syracuse? It's
yeah,
kind of
because they beat Syracuse by 2 touchdowns,
yeah,
and we only beat them by a touchdown, which that game was lopsided,
yeah.
but it is what it is. Clemson just got off the bye week,
Hey.
probably healthy back on injuries, healthy, and I think they're going to dominate. I think this is the game everything clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson by 10. Clemson by 10 or 17.
10 or 17. Shoot.
I mean, I'll be out of town for the game, but it's fine. And
Man,
then I'm
I had some good news. I was kind of checking like the game times and stuff, and I just assumed Georgia and Tennessee was gonna be played at prime time 8 o'clock,
yeah,
but they're playing at 3:30. So
that's gonna be a tough one. Like
yeah.
last week game day was played at 3:30,
Yep.
but I think they're gonna give Clemson Notre Dame spotlight in 7 o'clock game.
Yeah. So
If
you think again? Let's go back to the Tennessee Georgia game. You think Tennessee is just no brainer? They're going to win?
I think Tennessee's gonna win. Like, look at what they did to Kentucky. Look at what they did against Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, that game went back and forth. Alabama rightfully deserved to lose that game, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I had Tennessee beating Alabama. And if Tennessee beats Georgia, they're going to be nationally ranked one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not stopping Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Like going into this year, no one would have thought Tennessee would be number three. Like I had them low top 20s
Me too.
and or not ranked, but now
Me too.
you're 8-0.
Yeah.
So it's like they're a surprise team, just
Yep.
like how Cincinnati was last year.
Right.
But they might fall off next year. You never know. It's a numbers game. And like what I was seeing after the Syracuse game was everyone saying, "Oh, Cade's the starter for the rest of the year. He rightfully took DJ's spot." But he just had one bad game. And what I noticed about all these critics, everyone judges before they speak or
Yeah.
just one game. Like everyone judges just one game. Now, it was one terrible game by DJ. He had a lot of missed throws and whatnot, but he'll be fine. He'll bounce back this week. We now know what Cade looks like in a game.
Hmm.
His future's bright. But my thing is, I hope he doesn't transfer because they have,
I don't think he will, just
yeah,
because I think if DJ finishes out this season strong and at least plays good in the playoffs, I think he'll go to the draft. But either that will happen or he won't play good the rest of the season. He won't start clicking, and Cade will just win the starting job by the time the season's
yeah.
over. So there's really only two extremes that I think could happen. It's either DJ plays good and ends up going to the draft, gets selected maybe third round, or just
I
he just
mean,
falls off completely, and then
I've
Cade.
been I've been reading saying DJ might go late first round. Like
Hmm.
I'm a Bucks fan for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We're struggling, but I heard DJ might come to Tampa.
Okay.
Now, if he came to Tampa, that would be interesting because we do have Trask, we do have Blaine Gabbert,
Yeah.
but I see Gabbert either retiring or signing elsewhere. We sign someone else, and then you have Trask, a quarterback, and you sign a veteran to learn behind also.
Right.
And it's just a quarterback battle.
Yeah.
But it's a long season still ahead. They have plenty of kinks to fix, but they'll be fine. But yeah.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
most likely that will conclude this episode. Once again, thank you for being on. You'll probably be on a couple more episodes previewing Clemson. We
Let's
could
do
do
it.
Clemson the rest of the season, most likely. And we'll be back Wednesday, me, Alex, Frankie, hopefully Leon, with our NFL overview and picks episode. And then that will conclude this episode. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Appreciate